All right, we could take our seats, and we're about ready to get started. Well, I just want to thank everybody for being here today on this historic day here on November 7th, where finally the California Indian people will have a monument here on the Capitol grounds for all those visiting to know that we are still here. Still here against great odds. Odds that seen our people go through many historical challenges here in the state of California. But we're here because of the resiliency of our elders and ancestors to show the California Indian people are still very much ingrained in the thread of the state of California. At this time, I would like to bring up Vice Chairwoman Raquel Williams from Wilton Rancheria to offer a blessing.
Kuchihiyama. Like Assemblyman Ramos said, I'm going to speak a blessing. And so how I was taught, you could either stand or you could either sit. How you accept a blessing is up to you and is up to your spirit. So do with whatever your tribe tells you or your people tell you or whatever feels good to you. So if you want to stand, beautiful. If you guys want to sit, you can sit. And let me... Kuchihiyama. Uxapa chuneto. Sakako onexaka echa. Amatama opo li siniyapa. Ani neto salika echa. Anukila la huse kuneto holitnim. Tamekamo miokno. Oyisa muku. Hoy yo. Uxpa ethli. Ama ebilisa echa. Tamekamo hoya de urka winakas. Oh. So in that prayer we're saying, thank you for everyone who comes in the four directions that you come. Thank you for the teachings and the spirit that you bring. Also, too, to remind ourselves that we're not just here by ourselves. We bring our families, our loved ones, and the ones who've passed on, and the ones who aren't here yet. We bring all of them with us. And so just to be mindful of that as we look into this crowd, and there's a ton of people here. It's not just us. It's where we come from that comes with us. And that's the beauty in this. And so let's have a good day. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's enjoy one another. But also, too, let's be mindful for the legacy that we leave. As this monument shows that in life, we never know what impact we leave on our people behind us. And so just being mindful in what we do and how we speak, but also, too, to remind ourselves that we're a blessed people. So continue to act blessed and be blessed. Oh.
Well, thank you, everyone, for being here today, and thank you for the blessing. Now we'd like to bring forward the Kalti crew from Wilton Rancheria to be able to bless the grounds and provide a cultural presentation.
Bob Gary.
Okay, we're Tumale Nisna Miwak, and my wife's father's statue will be up here today, so we're going to dance in his honor. We just ask Hey, is Bob Geary out there? Bob Geary, come join us. We're going to go ahead and do a few of our dances the way he had taught us. And we got a lot of stories that go all the way back from when he had learned. And we're going to keep that going that way because this is what we were taught. Oh. We're going to mix it up here a little bit. I'm going to have Bob here. He's going to sing one of his songs from Elam, and because he really honored this man. And since he was a little boy, he always came around, and they used to hang out all the time inside the roundhouse with their grandsons. So, and he, from his heart and his spirit, is very strong and powerful. And he's going to share one of his songs with us to honor. Oh. Okay, we're going to call it that for now. I know there's others that have to come out and give their time. So we just thank everybody for their time and their patience out here today. One of the things that he had taught us, always come from within. And if we can take care of ourselves in here, then we can take care of all things. And it all comes in a good way. So we thank Bob for sharing a couple of songs with us. And I know that Bill meant a lot to him. So we have to honor these people and let them honor back. So, but we're going to snake out of here for our own protection. And we're going to leave it at that. Oh. This snake here, cha'aka, we say cha'aka kaneska, the spirit of that rattlesnake. So we don't want anybody to take a picture of this one. If you can hold back, we appreciate it. So it's about bringing that spirit out and getting between us and all other spirits that protects us as we come out here on the spiritual dance floor. Oh.
Let's give him a round of applause there. And to show our appreciation, let's give him one big oh! This next person that I'm going to bring up to speak has been with us from the beginning of 338, working and coming on as a co-author. And we hit some challenging times in the legislature of trying to educate legislators on why it was so important for the California Indian people to have a monument here on the Capitol grounds. AB 338 moved through because of the support of our allies and leadership on the Assembly on the Senate side. So with us today is the Speaker of the Assembly, Mr. Speaker Rivas.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is wonderful to be here. What a beautiful morning to be at our state capitol. But so thankful for all of you who made the time to be here. And I want to thank my colleague and good friend, Assemblymember James Ramos. You know, I want to thank him for his relentless work and advocacy on tribal issues in support of our native and indigenous Californians. We all know here at our state capitol, in the state assembly, in the state senate, representation matters. And it matters because we're California. We're the most diverse state in the country. We're diverse in our people. We're diverse in culture. And in our diversity is our collective heritage as Californians. That is who we are. Our diversity is what built this state. It is our greatest strength today, and it is the foundation of our future in this incredible state. And that is why Assemblymember Ramos's work has been so important to the state of California. It's been so important to all people who live in this incredible state. So, James, thank you for everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I also want to acknowledge all of the tribal members who are here today and all tribal members throughout our state who could not be here as we celebrate this important and significant moment for California. As many of you know, the land we are standing on, the land we are surrounded by, belongs to California's first people. And the unveiling of this monument honors the many tribes who continue to thrive here. Here and across our state, this moment, this day, belongs to all of you. And so it is my hope as Speaker that future generations will visit our state capitol, and that this monument will and all of their robust and lasting contributions to the incredible state of California. Again, congratulations to everybody who made this moment possible. And again, thank you for inviting me to be a part of this historic unveiling. Thank you all so much.
Well, thank you so much for that. And also with us are some of our colleagues from the Assembly, Assemblymember Joaquin Arambola. We also have the California Treasurer, Fiona Ma. We also have Chair of the Latino Caucus, Sabrina Cervantes. We also have a member of the Select Committee on Native American Affairs, Assemblymember Devin Mathis. And an ally in the Senate, Senator Susan Rubio. And to the many tribes that are here that continue to write letters of support during the time of AB 338, we want to recognize all those tribal leaders that are here. Look at the crowd that's here today to see this historic event to ensure that the voices of California's people resonate on these grounds and in the halls of the state legislature. We have with us Chairperson from Wilton Rancheria, Jesus Tarango. We have Chairperson from Chicken Rancheria, Lloyd Matheson. We have Chairperson, Coyote Valley, Richard Campbell. We have Chair from Tule River, Neil Pairan. We have Chair from Buena Vista, Rhonda Pope. We have Chair from the Yuraks, Joe James. We have Council Member from the Picayune Rancheria of Chinchansey, Lori Araiga. We have new Council Member from Picayune Rancheria, Elaine Sanders. We have Marco Alcantar from Picayune Rancheria of the Chichansees. We have Chairman from Tachi, Leo Cisco. And we have the Table Mountain Tribal Council. And we have a lot more out in the audience, so give yourselves a round of applause there. This is a chance to continue to elevate our presence here in the state of California. In no better time than in November on National Native American Heritage Month. So give yourselves a round of applause for being here. AB 338 was a piece of legislation that moved through the state legislature, but it was challenged along the way. We overcame great odds to be able to be here today, not only in this monument to have the governor sign the piece of legislation that moved forward to today for this unveiling, but for our people here in the state of California that have overcome great odds against odds. We're still here. The resiliency of our people is still here present today in Sacramento. We faced great odds with the Russian explorations, the Spanish exploration, the Mexican rule, the gold rush, the U.S. rule in the state of California. A state of California that did not look too kindly on California's first people. There was many atrocities that came our way, many turmoils that came to our people, but yet, against all odds, we're still here. Against the different trials that came to our people, the culture is still very much alive, which we've seen through the teaching of Mr. Franklin to the Miwok, Nisenan people, and to this area to sing those songs of blessing this land that we stand on. It's to the resiliency of our elders that stand with us today and our elders that have gone on. It's the resiliency that continues against great odds of our people that we stand here today. AB 338 was challenged and came through great odds of some legislatures having to be educated on the true factual history about who we are as Californian people and what the missionary system brought to our people during colonization. We need to now be open to talk about those issues. What happened during the gold rush? What happened during these explorations? Our people survived against great odds to be able to be here today, showing the resiliency of California's first people. That's why we're here today, to be able to unveil this monument, to start the discussion of including factual curriculum of who we are and what's being taught in the state of California. These are issues that come our way. These are issues that we will face against all odds. These are issues that will show the resiliency of the blood that flows through each and every California Indian person, that we're still here and the voices ring out through us to ensure that our voices ring out in the state of California and in the state legislature. But these issues are done because representation truly does matter. And the tribes that came forward to champion this bill through the legislature and to testify at different committees, but it wouldn't be able to be done if it wasn't for the support of elders and teaching such as those as Mr. Franklin. So join me right now in bringing up Chairwoman Sarah Dutsky, who will do introduction of the Franklin family.
Good morning. I'm Sarah Dutchke, chairperson for the Ione Band of Miwok Indians, and it is a great honor for me to be able to introduce representatives of the Franklin family to speak to you today. The Franklin family has two individuals that will be coming up. Both were dancing, so we'll see if they've changed by now. Bill Franklin's daughter, Teresa Yanamora, and a friend of the family who grew up with Bill Franklin, Bob Geary. Could you please come up?
Hekate mai o kate kamsalwichen Robert Gary Ahakea Lembakarali. Today my name is Robert Gary and I'm from Lem, over from Lake County. As a boy, I grew up going out to Chase, Grinding Rock. It was during a time when it wasn't popular to keep those dances and ceremonies going. You know, I think about all of the things that were happening at the time. This is, you're talking your mid-70s, and remember, the Freedom of Religious Act for Native Americans didn't pass until 78. A time when people from their communities that were keeping the ceremonies alive were basically breaking law. It was people like, you know, Bill Franklin, and I looked at him as almost being like a grandfather to me. As a boy, when we used to go and dance over at Chase, it was him and his wife in the little trailer set up there, and anything that we wanted to eat and anything that we needed, everything was open. But knowing and watching when dancing was going on, the teachings and everything that he had passed down, and seeing today the dance groups that are singing the songs and doing the dances that only he was doing during that time in his area, that it's flourished to be who they are and proud of what they are. It's through his teachings and the things that his family has actually kept going and kept together. To know that to honor him is to also honor them. You know, Teresa and Maggie, you know, and you know, his other daughters. And I also grew up with the grandkids, the grandsons. You know, Bobby, you know, rest his soul. And making sure that they learned as kids, as young ones. Donnie learned from their grandfather, and to see how it has spanned out in this community really is a special thing. So the family that has kept this going, and to see this honor, to honor him for the things that he left for our communities, not just for the communities that are specifically in this area, but for me, myself, all the way from Lake County, for a special man that he was. We think about what has happened in time during all of this. This was during a time, like I said, that we were supposed to assimilate and forget about the past. He did this in a time when no one else wanted or thought that this was important to do, but kept it going. This definitely should be something we're talking today about, this ethnic studies curriculum. About this time when somebody had the strength and the respect to keep this going. And so I employ all of you cultural leaders, traditional leaders, singers and dancers that are from this area, when you're dancing those things, to make sure that it's taught of where this came from. Who had the strength to keep this going? I go from big time and roundhouse to roundhouse, and the songs and the dances that I see sung and danced are the things that Bill Franklin brought back and made happen. And if it wasn't for his daughters, his grandkids, to take that knowledge and to make sure that it's on and it continues on, where would we be at today? Understanding that diversity of the state that we live in, knowing that today there are 109 federally recognized tribes and over 60 going for federal recognition. No other state is like that other than Alaska. Language diversity, second in the world, California, next to New Guinea. This is a special place, and this is a special time to honor a special man, to know that he had the strength to continue regardless of what was being told to him from the political portion of our communities and the communities that were just wanting to assimilate. The strength that it took to continue to keep doing what he's doing. And to also show and to pay the respects to the family that kept doing what they were doing. And they're still doing it today. His daughters are still dancing today. His grandson is still dancing and singing today. As a boy, I got an opportunity. I'm over at the lake and we dance a different way, different songs. But as a boy, I got an opportunity to dance with him and like him. So today is a good day. Today is a day that we see a likeness like us. Today is a strong day that gives us the opportunity to show that we're still here, like we heard before. Even though we walk by you, we're in our nice jackets and pants and everything else, and we're not in our feathers. We walk amongst you, and we're still here. So, with that said, like I said, I'm thankful for just given the opportunity, and I want to acknowledge his kids, his children, that have learned and listened and probably was there to know the heartache of the time that he went through, but still had the strength to continue. And everyone here today benefited from it. Every dancer, singer, cultural person benefit from it. And so we're thankful today for him, for his family, and for all of us. Thank you. Oh.
See if Teresa's back. Teresa, are you out there? Oh, she's still getting dressed. All right. Chairman?
Good morning, good morning. That's it? We're here to celebrate today. Let's try that again. Good morning. Gucci Kalupa, Kaneo Yase Jesus Tarango, Tribal Chairman of Wilton Rancheria. And before I get going talking about this great event and this man here today, I just want to say it truly is an honor to be here, to know where we come from. It gives us a vision of where we're going. And I think that's the significance of today's day, and that this man that we're getting ready to honor is one of many in every single tribe here in California, one of many. Good morning. It is an honor to be here with you all today on this momentous occasion. As we prepare for the unveiling of this new monument, I have been asked to take a few minutes to give you a little bit of a background on just how we got here today. On July 4th, 2020, during the Black Lives Matter protests following the murder of George Floyd, the Father Hunapera Serra statue that stood here since 1967 was toppled. And out of an abundance of caution, it was decided to not replace it immediately. Then, at the start of 2021, with the support of tribes across the state, Assemblymember Ramos introduced Assembly Bill 338, which paved the way for the construction and maintenance of a monument honoring California Native American people of the Sacramento region on the grounds of the state capitol. In May of 2021, the State Assembly approved AB 338 by a vote of 66-2. And the bill moved to the Senate. Later in August, the legislation came back before the Senate, and a contentious debate ensued. Senators defended the horrific actions of Father Serra, saying that he made a huge contribution to our state and that he was being accused of things that he didn't do. And in fact, he just came to this state to create communities while California Native Americans were portrayed as always at being at war
and slave owners. Despite this harmful and incredibly inaccurate narrative, AB 338 moved out of the Senate by a vote of 28-2. And it landed on the governor's desk for signature. Then on the 54th annual California Native American Day, Governor Newsom signed AB 338 into law, and we broke ground on this site a little less than a year ago on November 14, 2022. Today's unveiling signifies the start of a new era here in California at our state capitol, one where we stopped uplifting a false narrative and start honoring the original stewards of this land by telling a true and accurate portrayal of California's journey to statehood. Today is simply not an attempt to erase or rewrite history. On the contrary, it is an important step in telling an honest account of what happened on this land. As you have heard, the man portrayed in this statue is a Miwok Anishinaabe leader, William Bill Franklin. His life epitomized the strength, honor, and commitment of California Indian people. Bill Franklin represents the best to be found among California Native Americans, and he lived his life for his family and others in the preservation of California's Indian cultures. He gave unselfishly of his time and knowledge as a tribal teacher, indigenous scholar, preservationist of California Indian history, song, music, dance, and regalia. However, this statue isn't meant to just honor Grandpa Bill, because every tribe across this state has their own Bill Franklin, a leader who fought to keep our cultures and traditions alive during a time, and I have to say, during a time when it was not easy to be Indian. It was not easy to be indigenous. Be it Jimmy James from the north, Robert Levi from the south, or countless others, this monument serves to thank and honor each and one of those and every single one of them who came before us. It also serves as a reminder to every California Native person that is here today or in the future that our simple existence is a true miracle, and that we owe it not only to those who came before us, but also the future generations to continue to take up this fight. It is a reminder to occupy the spaces they have fought so hard to create and to use it for the betterment of all California people and not let outside forces or interests divide us, because we are so much stronger when we work together to achieve these great accomplishments. In that spirit, I would like to thank my fellow leaders from the 6 tribes, the Ione Band of Miwok Indians, Chicken Ranch, Rancheria of Miwok Indians, Tuolumne Band of Miwok Indians, Buena Vista Rancheria of Miwok Indians, and the Shingle Springs Band of Miwok Indians. Alongside with us, we were able to collaborate our efforts and support AB 338 and made a new monument and its dedication possible. We also would like to gratefully acknowledge numerous of other California tribes who offered their support for this legislation, and many of those tribal leaders who have joined us here today in this ceremony. We would also like to thank, and I can't say this enough, Assemblymember James C. Ramos for introducing AB 338 and his staff who have helped us lead us through this process. California's Legislative Joint Committee on Rules, chaired by Assemblymember Ramos and Vice Chair Senator John Laird. The 52-member California Native American Legislative Caucus. California Department of General Services Director Ann Lasso, and a special thank you to her Chief Deputy Director Jason Kinney, who worked side by side with our tribes on this important project. and the Assembly Democratic Office of Communications and Outreach. Now, it is my pleasure to bring forward each of my fellow tribal leaders to share a few words with you. And up first is my amazing cousin, Chairwoman Sarah Dutschke of the Ione Band of Miwok Indians.
I'm going to pause for a moment and ask Teresa to come up. I think it's important you all hear directly from one of Bill's children. So, Teresa?
Short. Good morning, everyone. I know that he touched a lot of lives by all the faces I see here. His children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, you know. And just a little history on him. He was born in Nashville, El Dorado County, September 20th, 1912. His mother died when he was only 3 years old. So him and all of his sisters were orphaned. And they all went to different parts of the state. Some went to Oregon, some went to Stewart. It's just a brief little history. You know, one reason that he decided to dance and start the dance group is because he wanted, for the sake of preservation and the realization within his own community, but to reach into something that was unsemitic and insensitive American public. He learned how to dance in Ione by Captain Charlie, the keeper of the house, and he was only 10 years old when he first went in. They were chosen. They didn't just get to go up there and say, I want to dance. They were chosen by the elders. And later on, he danced with Frank Powell, A.C. McCauley, Henry Tipman, John Porter, and there was old Dan Gaynor was his person that he looked up to. He wanted to be like this man. And you know what? I guess he succeeded, because by all the faces I see here, he was a proud Native man. He raised all of his kids. He did everything with his dance family. So I'm proud and I'm happy to see all of you here. And that was just a little history of Dad. You know, I could go on for hours and hours, all the things he taught us. When we were younger, every weekend we were gone dancing. We didn't have no sports. We didn't have this. It was always, okay, kids, time to get in the car. We're going to dance. So, you know, that was his life. He led that. He taught us. And hopefully he taught a lot of you people that are out here right now. Aho.
Thank you, Teresa. Well, here I am again, Sarah Dutschke, chairperson for the Ione Band of Miwok Indians. And I want to start by thanking my cousin, Chairman Jesus Tarango. What he didn't share with you today is that it was Chairman Tarango who gathered the 6 sponsoring tribes together to support AB 338. He and his team actually led that effort on behalf of all 6 of us working together. So Chairman Tarango, thank you. What you should also know about Chairman Tarango is today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Chairman. I also want to say thank you to the other sponsoring tribes. I'll have a few words to say about them in a moment, but it's really exciting to be standing here in front of you all on this really, really important and exciting day for us. I also see lots of faces from the Ione Band. Thank you all for being here. We have our entire council is here, hiding somewhere in the crowd, as they like to do, and our cultural committee and members of our brand new cultural department. So thank you for coming today. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Ione Band, we call Amador County home and have for thousands of years. But we also have strong connection to this region, just like the other tribes who are sponsoring this legislation. and supporting this monument. And lots of our citizens reside here in Sacramento County. So this is particularly meaningful for us because our people will see this literally every day. There's a lot I want to share with you, but I'm mindful that we have a long agenda and lots of speakers, so I'll try to keep my comments brief. AB 338, an installation of this amazing statue honoring our elder Bill Franklin, represents a very significant and historic shift in the way we as Miwok people and California Indian people are viewed at the state's capital. As Assemblymember Ramos said so perfectly and has said so many times, this monument is an important step in righting the wrong of erasing the true history around California Indian people. But it's also more than just a representation of the past. It represents not only who we were as Indian people, but who we continue to be today. And when you see it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about because you've seen that already this morning. We're not just relics of the past. Some still think that. We are certainly more than the businesses we operate. We continue to survive and thrive as communities who value and celebrate culture and tradition on a daily basis. We dance and sing in precisely the same way that our ancestors did. We continue to support one another in our endeavors within our own tribes and among the other tribes. And most importantly, we work every day to protect our people and our tribal communities. It's exactly what Bill Franklin did. I'm really excited that now when adults and in particular children, and there's a lot of them out there today, visit the state capitol, they'll be able to see a true representation of the first people of these lands. And it's a representation of us, by us, one that we chose, and one that will help everybody understand who we truly are as California Indian people. But even more importantly, and I say this as somebody who grew up very traditionally here in California, at a time when maybe when I was young, it wasn't super popular still to be Native American, to be Indian. Most importantly, our own people can now see themselves reflected and honored here in the state's capital. That's long overdue. Citizens of the Ione Band and the other sponsoring tribes can take pride in the fact that they have contributed to this important monument in history. And if anybody should ever forget who those tribes are, we're represented all around the circle here. No longer will our children feel invisible on their own land or be made to feel as though our history doesn't matter. Instead, they'll see themselves reflected in the statue and be reminded of the strength of our people. I'm thankful for their friendship, and I will always appreciate the strong bonds we form through this process. And of course, I'm going to thank Assemblymember Ramos and his colleagues in the legislature and all of Assemblymember Ramos's team. Assemblymember Ramos, to say we're grateful for your leadership, I think would be a pretty serious understatement. Without your leadership, so many of our needs would go unmet. You work tirelessly every day to ensure that we're visible, to erase that negative history, to tell our story. Without you, so many of the things that have been damaging to our communities, they would continue to persist, and we're so grateful. We're so grateful for you. And I want to say one word about Bill Franklin as well. I did know him as a child. I know his daughters a little better than I got to know Bill Franklin. A lot has been said about him here today. He's a teacher, a spiritual leader, but he's also a political leader for California Indian people. You can read in your program about his participation on the Federated Indians of California. There were lots of folks who were involved in that effort alongside him, my own great-grandfather among them, lots of members of many of the tribes in this region. If you don't know anything about the Federated Indians of California, read about them. They paved the way for us today. He also paved the way for me in a way as one of the first members of the California Native American Heritage Commission. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And with that, I'm going to welcome my colleague and friend, Chairman Lloyd Matheson.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Machuksis, Guchia Chin, Hekake. Lloyd Matheson, Chairman from Chicken Ranch Rancheria up there in Tuolumne County. Again, what a beautiful day. Oh, man, this is, like Chairman Tarango was talking about, 3 great years ago. That man gave me a call and said, hey, what do you think about this? Absolutely, would love to. And then, as Chairwoman said, we got to stand by the sides of all 6 of us, amazing leaders, and be able to guide us through this without Assemblymember Ramos, without his guidance and leadership all the way through this would not be successful at all. I thought going to school, learning about this was a whole new experience for me. I was completely blown away and seeing how this man navigated through this entire way, being a native of all things with it, being able to talk and go through it and come and relay to us and help us to vision to get this all the way through to this day. Wow, what an amazing day. And with that, I want to thank all of our elders that are here. Without you guys passing that torch down to us, we would not be here today to be able to continue to do this work that you guys laid out for us. Or one of our great elders here, like Chairman Tarango talked about, all the leaders that have gone way, way before their time, that have stood up and have fought and have gathered their ways all the way to where we are today. It's your guys is passing that torch, allowing us as children to be able to see how you guys fight nonstop, so what we continue to live the way that we want to live, so we can have our songs and our dances. And it takes my breath away last year and today to be able to sing that, to be able to hear the great voices on these grounds again after a century. With that, all the Native people that are here, thank you. It's amazing to be able to do this and be able to stand up here and be able to talk and have you guys all here. As the senator said, we are still here together. We're still strong. And for our elders and also for my ancestors, I hear you, I see you. This is not the end of the path. This is just a step along its way. We will not stop. Thank you.
Next to the stage is Chairperson Andrea Wright from the Tuolumne Band of Miwok Indians.
Tangikamu. Machuxis, Kuchihema. Like Chairman Drango just said, my name is Andrea Reich, and I serve as chairwoman for the Tuolumne Band of Miwok Indians. Today is a joyous day. As I stand beside my fellow leaders and amongst my community members, I am celebrating. Celebrating because this could not have been done without the hard work, leadership, dedication to this project, and support of the citizens and councils that we each serve. It's important to embrace and promote education about our history, and this statue is another step in that direction. This statue represents a symbol of strength in carrying on and sharing our teachings and our traditions so that they are not forgotten to all. This statue represents resilience shown by our ancestors to continue teaching and upholding those traditions that they fought and sacrificed so much to hold on to pass down to the generations of today. I'm so excited to share this statue with all who come to visit the Capitol grounds, honoring all of California's First Peoples, determined to never let their language, those teachings, and our traditions be torn away from us. As we dedicate this statue today, I hope that all of the visitors of the Capitol grounds can now acknowledge the people that came before them and the people that once occupied these lands. Miko wala takmu. From me to all of you, I thank you.
Next to the stage, I'd like to call up Chairwoman Rhonda Pope from the Buena Vista Rancheria of Miwok Indians. Ooh.
I was going to embarrass him and sing like Marilyn Monroe for his birthday, but I won't do that. My name is Rhonda Pope Flores, and I'm the chairwoman for Buena Vista Rancheria of Miwok Indians, and I am so honored to be here. You know, I wrote this speech, and I'll probably do that. I normally don't do speeches. I just speak from my heart. But after hearing Teresa this morning and sharing her words, and she mentioned my great-great-uncle, Dan Gaynor, that Bill Franklin learned from. And then I heard Council Member Melissa Tayaba talk about listening to the interviews and referenced my great-grandfather, Louis Oliver, who also taught Bill Franklin those songs. So just made me realize, like, how woven together all of us really are through our songs and our ceremonies. So I'm just really overwhelmed. I want to also thank those dancers and those singers, because this morning I really came with a heavy heart. Brother-in-law home, and at 3:30 this morning he left us, so I'm a little delirious, and so I just want to dedicate my speech to my brother-in-law, Joe Moran. Our tribe is honored to be a part of AB 338, and I cannot say enough for you, man. You are so badass. He's just so badass. Sorry, let me stick to my speech here. I'm going to go off script and it'll be bad. All right. Our tribe is honored to be a part of AB 338 and partnering with our fellow leaders. I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this. In the history pages, I'm going to get emotional, sorry. And I got to take my glasses off because I'm backwards. I have to take my glasses off to read. That don't make no damn sense, I know. All right, let me start over. Our tribe is honored to be part of AB 338. In the history pages that our descendants will read, they will see that we stood for our ancestors and the respect and the healing that they deserved. While the Catholic churches, and don't get mad at me, Catholics, okay? While the Catholic churches consider Junipero Serra a saint, our ancestors tell a different story spread across the missions of California in unmarked graves. And I don't know if any of you have ever gone and walked those areas and seen those unmarked graves, but your heart will break. Okay, back on script. From the perspective of those who didn't speak our language, sing our songs, and partake in our ceremonies, they proclaimed what was best for our ancestors. But today, is our ancestors, every man who was enslaved, every woman who was raped, every child that was orphaned as a result of the missions. Today is for you. Today is for all of you. We can never fully recover from this, but this testimony is our resilience as we continue the ways of our ancestors. And I saw that in those songs and those strong prayers this morning. It just picked me up, and it helped me so much. So thank you. This story has been taught to our children in history books, omitted the tragedies that took place in the name of Junipero Serra. To me, the saints are those who lived in the aftermath of destruction the mission period brought. Those survivors in my family, Jesus Oliver, my great-great-grandmother, who was also taken to Mission San Jose. They escaped, came back to no village. Well, they ended up settling at Buena Vista, so a lot of you don't know that I'm not only Miwok, I'm all part Yoket, because that was where my grandfather was from. As we celebrate, stay on script, Rhonda. As we celebrate Native American Heritage Month, I remember the ones who carried on our traditions, like my great-grandfather Louis Oliver, like Bill Franklin, my great-great-uncle Dan Gaynor, Susie Gaynor, my great-great-great-grandma, who danced in roundhouses right along with you men. They were all roundhouse people, and I am so honored to come from that. This is a dedication to all of our medicine people and our culture bearers and the work that you all do and the traditions that you carry on for us. This statue symbolizes the resilience of our people in honor of our lost ancestors of the missions. Thank you, Teresa, and I love you. You know, she comes to every ceremony. Her and Dennis, they're always there. They always support us. And so I'll see you this weekend at Fall Dance. Love you.
Before we go to our next elected, we're going to have some of Grandpa Bill's daughters come up and say some words.
Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I don't hear a group, so I'm talking loud as I can. I'm Marjorie Franklin, and this is my sister Sally, and we have Netta's sister coming up here, Margaret, and I'm looking for Teresa. I so wanted to see family here, and friends, and so many people that are here to keep in memory of my father. I remember when I was young, when my father started his dance group. At first, we would travel all over the foothills, San Francisco, Chico. He would take all of his children with him in the station wagon because our mother was deceased. I met so many elders. I remember I was so lucky, and in my memory that I have. So in all the years it took my father to be recognized and proud. Anyhow, it took me months and months to have the men singers come to our home. We lived in Sacramento at the time. They sang and sang and sang and practiced. Next, he went out, and of course, we're with him as children, to look for dancers. Plus, he had us 12 children to dance with him. We got organized, and we danced at colleges, schools, halls, and I can't remember all, parades, anything to do with Indian celebration, we were there dancing and singing. I'm so proud of my father. When I was small, I kept asking him. He was going to meet. Can I go with you? He said, yes. My nickname said Squeaky. He said, come on, Squeaky. You can go with me. I went to so many meetings with my father, and I was getting more involved listening. And I was growing up. He asked, we were at a meeting, and they asked somebody to represent California to go back to Santa Fe. A lot of Navajos were dying from TB. And they were going to the medicine man. And they asked my father to represent California and talk to them that the medicine man can't cure them. They have to go to the white man's doctor. And I was sitting there, and he got up, and he said, I'm going to send my daughter to represent me. And I said, oh my goodness. And he picked another young Indian boy, a Eugene Goodwin. And we were escorted by a Wayne Red Horse and spent a week in Santa Fe for Indian, not only Navajo, but other tribes, talking to them, explaining, because at the time, TB was killing a lot of American Indians. I always was involved with my father about going to meetings with him. And then, when we were younger, we had a lot of Japanese that lived near us, down in the Sacramento area. He didn't live up and have a ranch yet. And he got the Japanese people got where they come over and visit him a lot. And I asked my father if he would dance and sing. So the Prime Minister was coming up from Japan, and my father said he would. And it was something different for me to see. It was a celebration of the Japanese way, too. I had such a good time that learning my culture. And then as I got older, I went to high school with my mother's sister, raised me through high school years. I lived on the Klamath Modoc Reservation. And my mother was a Cinnamon Yankee Sioux from Fort Peck, Montana, and I'm a tribal member from there. I will always remember my father, that I got the opportunity to go with him, and he started me in different, working for different programs. You know enough now, you're older, go forward. When he helped start the Sacramento Indian Center, he asked me to sit on the board, which I did. And then later I worked for the Tribal Council of California. I had a post office job. I was at a meeting, talking to a lot of Indians I haven't seen. Squeaky worked for us. I said, oh, I got a job at the post office. And my father, I rode home with my father. He said, Squeaky, I wish you would work for the Indians. Oh, I said, geez, I said, no. He said, you know, they want you and they train you. So when I heard my father, him talking to me, I worked for the Tribal Council of California. And I love working for the Indians. I'm so proud to see all you people be here in memory of my father. I love my father, I miss him, but life goes on. And one evening, when he was older, I was staying at the ranch and helped take care of him. We were sitting outside. We were talking about heaven and the cosmos. And he just quickly, when I was young, there was no church building we would go up in the foothills here, and a preacher would stand on a big slab of rock and preach to us. He said, I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And my father went to church on and off. And when we were young, my mother and father would send us older children to church, which wasn't very far. We could walk there. And I just better not take up all your time. I just want to tell you people how much I enjoy being an Indian. And thank you.
Next, we have Vice Chairwoman Melissa Tayabo of the Shingle Springs Band of Miwok Indians to share some words.
Wow, I don't know how to follow that, but I will. Segasin, hello everyone. My name is Melissa Tayaba. I am the Vice Chair for the Shingle Springs Band of Miwok Indians. My grandmother is Pamela Adams. We are known as the Nisenan Pewanan people. We come from the villages of Kadema and Pashune, and we are from the American Feather and Sacramento Rivers. Today's ceremony holds great meaning in my heart, and there are many thanks that I would like to give to those that made this occasion possible. First, of course, there are my fellow tribal leaders and Assemblyman Ramos for your faithful partnership and unwavering commitment to California's First Peoples. To our legislative leaders for coming out to support this historic occasion, and to all attendees for joining us here in our unceded and ancestral homelands. Today we gather to celebrate and unveil a monument that not only represents but will for time immemorial honor the enduring legacy of all California Native peoples. People like my great-grandmother and Mr. Bill Franklin, for whom this statue is cast of, and to both I give my special thanks. Many have spoken about his remarkable legacy, so I will share a few words to his widespread influence, even in my family. When asked about the people of this land here in Sacramento, Bill told us that it was Pamela's son, James Adams, my great uncle, that took him in when Bill was a little boy, just 7 or 8 years old. During their time together, they would travel to regional big times where ceremonies would be held, songs and dance kept alive, and culture safeguarded. It is stories such as this that show us how individuals like Bill and my grandma worked to preserve the generations of connection that their people had to the practices and lands that sustain them, ensuring that moments like today are possible. It is our ancestors that remind us of the ongoing strength and resilience of tribal people across the state who have fought to keep their traditions and cultures alive, and their descendants that continue this good work. I'm grateful to be standing here today with those like-minded leaders who fearlessly demonstrate their commitment to continuing said work. For us, this monument is more than just correcting a moment in history. This statue honors a statewide heritage and perseverance, fortitude, and tenacity that all California Indigenous people share. For future generations, it will stand as a permanent and profound reminder of our cultural connection to this region. So for my last thanks, I would like to thank all our ancestors who battle for survivance continues through us today and every day, and will be represented here on the Capitol grounds now and forever. In their honor, I would like to introduce our dance group, the Shingle Springs Traditional Dancers, for a series of songs. Thank you.
So before we have the dancers go ahead and go on, we're going to do the unveiling of the statue, and then we're going to go ahead and have the dancers get down. Oh.
Well, now has come the time for us to be able to unveil this, and you heard all the good words and representation from the Franklin family and the dedication that's there, and it really means a lot. There's a Bill Franklin in each and every one of our territories, and down in our area, Mr. Robert Levi served as teaching us the Cahuilla bird songs and bringing culture back. So this monument and unveiling what Mr. Franklin did here in these areas is a testament to all California Indian people that we're still here against great odds, the resiliency of our people. That's why we stand here today to do this unveiling. All right, so I'll count in 3, I guess. Ready? So we got to have some push up, and then when they push up, you pull back. All right? So I'll count to 3. Hook, whir, pahi. Well, it worked in trial.
If everybody could find yourselves back to your seats, we'll carry on with the program. I do want to mention, too, for those of you guys who are wondering, Grandpa Bill's, we have him facing directly at the rotunda. And just to share a little information, when we asked how we wanted him positioned, we wanted him to keep an eye on the Capitol. Let everybody know that we're watching what you're doing, right? So for those of you guys who know, Grandpa Bill's going to always keep his eye for Indian country on that Capitol over there for us. I think the next thing that we have, if we can clear this area over here so that we can have our dancers from Shingle Springs come and bless this occasion for us today. Brother Troy, we'll get these guys clear it out so you guys can come and get us going there, brother. Ooh. Hey, if we could get moving with the program here, there'll be plenty of opportunities to take pictures afterwards. Well, let's try to find our seats so that we can have these dancers get going here. These dancers been dressed up now for almost 20, 30 minutes. So let's honor them and respect them and find our seat. Or else I'm going to have to get Chairperson Rhonda back up here on the mic. She does have a shovel in her hand. It's all you, brother.
This is a beautiful day for Nissinana Miwok people, and it's good to see everybody here come together. We represent Shingle Springs Band of Miwok Indians, and this is our dance family. But my cousin Don Villa is here, and so this is his grandfather, and he was the captain of this family, and he is the captain of this family. So we wanted to make sure that he got a chance to be able to come up here and sing some songs for his grandfather and honor him that way. But I'm going to let him speak a few words, and a big O for him.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Don Villa Jr., and like Troy said, I'm the captain of the dance group. Learned lots of songs and dances from Grandpa, and I'm glad that I got the chance to learn from him and keep up the culture, keep the dances going, and here to share a couple songs with you guys today. Ho. This next song, dedicated to Gramps. This is one of his favorite dance songs to watch the boys dance to. Ho. Ho ha ho my, oh 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 ha ho my. He say no really, he say no really, oh ha ho my, 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 oh ha ho my. He say no really, he say no really, oh ha ho my, 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 oh ha ho my. Emita emta emta hoya, emita emta emta hoya, emita emta emta hoya. Ho 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 emta hoya, emita emta emta hoya, emita emta emta hoya, emita emta emta.
big dog right there. Oh, hey. Again, thank you, for having us, and all the leaders and all the people that put this together, and with his daughters and his kids here, and his family, and all the people that try to mimic his dance. He showed us a lot. He shared a lot from a long time, and there's a lot of people in this community that we need to honor that kept this thing going before some of these kids were even born. We walk by them all the time and not say a word, but we need to honor them. We need to take care of them. We need to do all these things, and starting from today, I think we need to, we have all these things that we deal with, but we come together and we hold this dance and we try to do the best we could in honoring him and honoring the people that were singing to him when in Buena Vista and Ione and Shingle Springs and down in Sacramento. So a big ode to everybody and much love to you guys. And we're going to sing our family home. And again, thank you all. Hey.
Donnie in a ceremony. If you didn't ask him for permission or pay him for them songs, you shouldn't be singing them. That's all I gotta say.
It wasn't the right place to say it, but I thought Donnie would just.
What? Let's, for those of you guys still awake out there, let's give one more O for that dance group. Oh! And thank you, thank you. So we'd like to get back to our program here. We have another speaker coming to the stage. I'd like to call California Department of General Services Director Ana Lasso.
Good morning. I know it's been a beautiful and very enriching program, but I just want to say thank you so much for including us today. As the Director of General Services, my team and myself, we're just so proud to have taken part in this project to honor Native Americans' legacy and heritage in the state of California. Thank you. I want to extend my utmost respect and appreciation to our tribal partners whose efforts have led to the creation of this very proud monument in Capitol Park. It's a delight to be part of this effort and to finally install a Native American monument in the park. It was just last year that this spot was selected for this honor, and it is the first new monument in Capitol Park in many years. It is a testimony to the dedication of everyone involved to not only get us here, as we've heard from the many stories we've heard today, but to produce such a beautiful tribute to the legacy of Native Americans, and it won't be the last, I'm sure. To that end, I would like to thank, again, the great Assembly Member Ramos and his staff, as well as the Joint Rules Committee for your work to push AB 338 to the finish line and to help this day come to fruition. The Native traditions we celebrate here today and the strength and beauty of Native people are embodied in this monument. The people who made their lives here before the existence of what we call California now have a permanent presence here in Capitol Park. Again, I want to thank everyone who helped bring about this today, my team especially, they've been mentioned before. This monument is a beautiful tribute. Thank you, Assembly Member. Thank you to all the partners. And the Department of General Services is just so pleased to be part of this project. Thank you.
I believe we're at the portion of our program where we have one more dance group coming to the